On today's show, we feature magician, hypnotist, DJ, I'm sure I left something out, James Grant.
How you doing?
And welcome everybody to our very special show featuring a longtime friend of mine, a professional in his own right, someone who has toured so much and is continuing to tour, James Grant. How are you this day, James?
Not too bad. Doing great. Just starting to get rid of some of the snow out here now.
It is Winnipeg, Manitoba. And I have such fond memories. I'm not being sarcastic. I really mean that. Fond memories, 13 years in Winnipeg. And one of the things that that brought up fond memories was conversing with you, was hanging with you from time to time. And you, believe it or not, I'm not saying this just to be nice. I'm saying this because I really mean it. I always admired you, and you always inspired me on some level. And one of the things, I know you don't have this anymore, but one of the things that really excited me when you were touring around back then was, I'm going to mention the big thing that opened up, and it was your music trailer, your
our big boombox. Yes.
I think that's completely original. I don't know if anyone, any magician slash hypnotist slash DJ slash etc., who toured throughout Manitoba and probably nearby provinces in Canada as well.
We did the 4 provinces.
Oh my goodness, that it was so incredible. First of all, it was majestic. Secondly, it was practical. And thirdly, probably convenient, not only for yourself, but for the sponsors as well. Do you want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah, we built that back in 86. It was, I got tired of doing shows on a piece of plywood, go do it in the grass. So I figured there's got to be something. So I sat there and sketched, came up with a trailer, then put a stage on front, sound behind it, everything equipped. In there, we had a fridge, we had microwave, everything in there so we could live in there during the day. And it was easy. We set that thing up in like 15 minutes for a full show with curtains, sound, everything. Crazy. And we could pull in and set up, do a show within 15 minutes. And it looked like you had a big stage in the front. We had lights on it. We had a canopy on it. And we had a blast with that thing all over the country.
Absolutely. You were one of the busiest, if not the busiest, practical touring. I don't want to just call you a magician. I mean, that's in itself enough. But DJ, hypnotist, magician. You also had your wife and other folks doing.
He was doing clowning.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of that. And I have to say, I believe personally that you were one of the, if not the busiest touring acts throughout Manitoba and adjacent provinces. Did you enjoy that whole journey?
Oh, we loved it. We went to towns that, and even today, like we don't have the trailer anymore. We sold it about 5 years ago. And, but unfortunately, we still do shows on that trailer. The guy that owns it isn't too far away from us, and he still hires it out, and we still do shows on that, on the trailer, different fairs. But we took it to fairs, and people just, I just love going to all the different towns and seeing different things and setting up the stage. And even at night, big place that we did it at all the fairs, but the biggest spot was Country Fest here at Dauphin, that we did karaoke for 11 and a half hours a day for, I think it was like 10 days.
Wow.
Straight.
Wow.
And even at the fairs, if we weren't doing magic shows on there at night, we decided, well, what else is there to do? And that, instead of playing music, well, let's get a karaoke machine. So we got a karaoke machine, and Bev was outside singing, or, we'd hire, some girls to go out in the front and sing. And we just had a blast at night. So we turned it from a family magic show during the day with clown, she would come out and start the show. I would come out halfway through the show, do a magic show. Then in the evening, we would turn it into an entertainment stage and do karaoke till 1, 2 in the morning.
So cool. So cool. You were giving your sponsors a complete entertainment package.
Right. Yeah.
And I love that concept. You mentioned Bev, that's for people who don't know you.
Yeah.
That's your wife.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we all had many good times just hanging out. I loved her as a clown as well. But what is she doing now? Is she still doing clowning, or she's
No, she retired as a clown on that, and she's doing face painting, airbrush face painting. Now, this is totally different from the brush. This is with air guns, and it's a very, very high quality face painting. And we always get people saying, I've never seen anything like that, because we're the only ones that do it here.
Yes.
And it's to the quality of movie quality face painting on it.
Absolutely.
And so we do that, and she does glitter tattoos. And when I'm not doing shows, I'm doing airbrush tattoos.
So cool. I've seen pictures of that, and in the final result that
right.
actually
I've sent you some there. Yeah,
we'll show pictures if we haven't already. So cool. Boy, remember in our days, I'm going to say my days back then in the I guess 80s and part of the 90s, you've come, not just you, but everyone, the whole industry has come such a long way as far as face painting. And all of a sudden there's glitter tattoos and there's airbrush stuff. It looks so good, so finished and professional. You can't even compare it to what was in the 80s.
Oh, yeah. For a brush and sponge, you can't compare anything to what we do today.
It's fantastic. So at the very least, if people are booking a package, I would recommend, I'm not just saying this to be nice and because, we're pros and we've worked together and worked in the same areas, etc. I'm saying this because I really believe in the product or in the products. And people have to, if they're having a party, whether it's for adults or kids, they have to choose you. They have to choose those packages with the face painting. Well, really, it's airbrush painting, really, and the tattoo work and all that. It's just such a cool thing in itself, or as an addition to your packages. I'd love to tackle your DJ work because you've done so much of that, and probably will continue to do more.
We're still doing lots of it.
So you've done probably just about every town, not only I almost said BC, that's where I am, in Manitoba, but adjacent provinces such as
Ontario. We travel to Ontario, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan, and once in a while we'll hit Alberta.
So cool. And again, you're complete. You're just raring to go. They just have to, and we'll give your information and towards the end how people can reach you. Or maybe sometimes I'll have it scrolling across the screen too. I like doing that. People just have to give you an email or phone.
Or email us. Look us on the we're on Facebook. We're we have a webpage, Instagram. And they can see all our pictures up there. And all the venues we do, we take tons and tons of pictures.
Isn't that ever cool, though? In the olden days, you could never hit as many folks. You could never show as much of what you do until now, until recent years, say 10, 20 years or whatever. Social media is so cool. You get a chance to show off your work, your face painting. And I love one of the pictures you sent me, which is also on your Facebook page, is you hypnotizing a group of people. And there's actually quite a few pictures of you doing that. And as a clinical hypnotherapist, I never had the guts to do what you do, to go out there and entertain using hypnosis. And people, they just roar, they laugh. It's nothing. Some people think, oh, it's scary, I'm going to cluck around like a chicken or whatever. But you never abuse people. You always help people to laugh and have a great time. You want to chat a little bit about that because I just love that entertainment aspect of what you do.
Yeah, we go out. Our philosophy is we're not out there to embarrass people. We're out there to make people laugh, like you say, and have fun. I always took it. I would ask my mother to come to the shows.
Yes.
So I'm not doing anything risque. I'm out there to have fun. And we do have fun in our shows. And it depends on what people we have, and we just go off and, make people do all sorts of, from Shania, Elvis Presley, they could be having music in their shoes. We do a squirt gun that people hate getting water in their face and we squirt them, and there's actually no water coming out of the gun at all, but they think it is and that on it. And we take them on trips down the Panama Canal in a canoe trip and all sorts of things and have fun.
So cool. You're only limited by your imagination. So anything and everything is possible in these shows. It's clean fun. It's not
clean. We're not there to embarrass anybody or to make fun of anybody. We always get calls. I don't know why. We always get calls, for a birthday party or a corporate, come and, do a hypno show, Joe and that, and that embarrass them over there. I want to, embarrass. No, we're not there to embarrass. We're here to entertain people.
Exactly. And that you do. Do. Of course, my one true love is magic. And I want to chat a little bit about that because I know, because I've seen you here and there. It's not only magic isn't just for kids. I mean, kids love magic, of course, and the whole world is magical to most kids, even though we're living in a very cynical world. It's still a magical world to kids, and kids, no matter what, their mouths will hang open when they see you produce a silk scarf or do whatever, or vanish or produce something. But adults become like kids as well.
Yes.
Magic isn't just limited to kids. I'm sure you do, if I recall right, magic shows. When I say for adults, I don't mean, again, blue material. It's all family friendly, but you make your adult audiences laugh and be astounded as well.
Yeah, we do a ton of corporate events. And when we're on, like when we were doing, and still now, I still do magic shows for the fairs and midways and everything. And it's, they say it's a kid show. No, it's a family show. Bring the adults, and I'll bring adults up on stage and have some fun, besides the kids,
sure.
Because the adults are kids too, on it. And we have just as much fun, especially doing the corporate stuff, with the adults as we do with the kids on it.
Absolutely.
And the adults, they love it. They love it.
I was just going to say, everybody loves magic. You have the odd 1 or 2% of people that, they're bugged by it. They want to know how something is done, or they want to be the hero of it and all that sort of thing. So, but 98 to 99% of the time, people just love magic. They enjoy being mystified. They enjoy a good laugh.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, one of the many things I admire about you, Jim, is the fact that you appeal to such a broad scope of people, generally families, but also you can entertain at the best of shows, an evening show. Let's say you're trooping and doing a smaller town in Manitoba or Saskatchewan or wherever, and you'll do maybe a family show, kid show during the day. Maybe you'll do DJ work at night, a dance, or your hypnosis show or your magic show at night aimed at grown-ups. I won't say adults, so not, and that's one of the things I love is you hit a wide market, if you will. And I'm seeing after all these years, I don't know if it's 30 years or what, since we reconnected,
Yeah,
but
probably about that.
I'm still excited about you and what you do, and your
Yeah.
wife, and even your daughter was a hypnotist for a while. No?
She still does. Yeah, we're the my daughter is Misty Dawn,
Yes.
and that she's fully trained and licensed as a hypnotist and a hypnotherapist. So she does carry her degrees like I do. I carry 17 degrees in hypnotherapy. I'm a certified therapist also.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can quit your smoking, and everything.
Yes.
And what everyone always asks. And we are the only father and daughter hypnotist team that do two hypnotists on the stage, same time across Canada.
So cool. So cool. And again, unique.
Yeah,
I
very
wanna-
unique. How many places do you see two hypnotists on stage at the same time?
Exactly.
Especially a father and daughter.
Exactly. So cool, so original as well. The selfish part of me, the self-indulgent part of me wants to share how we reconnected, you and I, recently.
Yeah.
Because, most of the time we belonged to the Magic Club or clubs in Winnipeg, but we were often too busy to attend these things. You were off doing, touring. I was off doing, hospital shows or whatever in Winnipeg, or little malls and stuff. But when we got together, we always had a good time. There was a sense of camaraderie and admiration. And, I never forgot you. But, life happens.
Yeah.
And I was in the market recently. I could share this with people. It's not a secret magician thing, for an illusion, a sawing a lady, because it's actually this year is the 101st anniversary. I missed the 100th anniversary of sawing a lady. And I missed my bow saw. I have an illusion where I saw someone through with a bow saw.
Yeah.
And I searched, I was going to say right and left. That's not correct. High and low.
High and low, and right and left and up and down.
Exactly. And then some.
Yeah.
And for the life of me, I couldn't find any of my other ones. I had a few other bow saws. I had what magicians call a thin model sawing. I was sure you bought that one, but I could be wrong. In any case, I was connecting with a mutual friend of ours who had passed recently, his wife, Judy Starr, and she mentioned you. And I thought, you know what? We have to talk anyway about the International Brotherhood of Magicians, and we'll chat here in a few minutes about their anniversary. And I didn't, I kind of rang you up. I don't know what you call it anymore when you're on instant messenger on Facebook, but we connected that way. And it's like, to me, you haven't aged. I know that sounds kind of weird, but to me, you haven't aged. And it's like, you're known professionally as James Grant, but I say Jim.
Jim,
and there you are. There's Jim. And all these years later, it's like no time had elapsed. And sure enough, you had the very same bow saw manufactured for magicians out there by Abbott's, a 1980s version I bought at a convention. And I was so excited not only to connect with you, but you had this illusion.
And the one you wanted,
and apparently you trooped with that. You used it a lot, did you?
I used it a few times. And that when I start doing the bigger shows, then we scaled it back a little bit. Mm-hmm. And it kind of sat in the warehouse for about 3-4 years.
Yes. Yes. I have to say it was in great shape, considering the age of it, that I bought it in the 80s, early 80s, maybe mid 80s, and worked it quite a bit, and then sold it to you, who worked it for quite a bit, then stored it. And you packed it so well, which I'm so grateful for. I don't know if,
that was Bev packing.
An amazing job, and took me hours to unwrap it. I'm just kidding. Fantastic job on that, and very little scratches and stuff. I've since touched that all up and everything.
Well, Yeah.
that shows a respect as
Yeah.
far as magicians are concerned and performers generally. That shows a
Yeah.
respect for your props
Oh
and
yeah, yeah. You
and
got to
whatnot.
keep them, you got to keep them looking good, and it shows when you're on stage,
Absolutely.
that how they look.
People have a critical eye, whether
Yeah.
consciously or not, and you don't want to look shabby up on stage.
No,
You want to
no.
look professional.
Yeah.
Now,
You
I
were
did,
talking about you were talking about the music and all the
yes.
stuff that we do. We're working on a show right now that we're introducing. It's combining two of our products together. One is the magic
Hmm.
and also is music. We're going into
Ah,
seniors' homes,
wow.
combining the two
Wow.
together, combining some music, do some magic in that for them, and back to the
Oh,
music. Let them have some dancing and everything. Back to some more music. So it's another. We're working on the routines right now to introduce
oh,
for because now we can get into the care homes, and not for
absolutely.
seniors. And so
Absolutely.
brighten up
They're
their days.
they're going to love that. You'll bring another ray of sunshine into their homes. Wherever you
Yeah.
go, you do that anyway, James. Um, Now, I touched on briefly the IBM, the International Brotherhood of Magicians,
Right.
and it was started in Winnipeg by a
Yes.
gentleman, very erudite gentleman named Len Vintus.
Len Ventus. Yes.
And not to forget, and an American magician, Gene Shelley, I think. I
Gene
may be
Shelley.
wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but it has its roots, this worldwide organization, which this year is 100 years old,
Yeah.
has its roots, as
Yeah.
many good things do, in Winnipeg, this Canadian city. This, as far as I'm concerned, it's a beautiful, the
Yeah.
people are beautiful. It's a creative, very advanced city in almost the middle of Canada, called
Yeah.
Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Well, a lot of
And
famous people have come out of Winnipeg.
oh,
Doug
Doug
Henning.
Henning,
Doug Henning.
Dean
Yeah. Dean
Gunnarsson,
Gunnarsson. Yeah.
even
James
now,
Seelan.
yes,
Uh,
he
yeah.
won the very first gold medal,
Yeah.
international IBM gold medal.
Yeah.
Even today, there's a couple of very famous young guys, I'll say young guys, whose names escape me. You probably remembered. I think they even belong to the clubs. They were on Fool Us and or Masters of Illusion, if I'm
Yes.
correct.
Yeah.
And so there's this rich heritage that Winnipeg has with
Yeah.
the world of magic. It's
Yeah.
synonymous, magic and Winnipeg. And I'm so excited to have been reminded of this, of the anniversary. Now,
Yeah.
technically, it was founded February 100 years
February-ish.
ago.
Yeah. In there. Yeah. It was the first meeting at the Royal Bank on Main Street by the City Hall, and the bank is still there.
I remember what a beautiful
Oh, it
heritage
is.
building as well.
It is.
And I believe the first couple of years or issues of the Linking Ring, which is the IBM's periodical, were
Yeah.
mimeographed and run off in that very same building.
And I've got a copy of it. And I think you saw a copy of that edition
It
too.
was, yes, and an early one I actually put up on Facebook. I
Yeah.
think it was 3 years young, and I'll never forget as well. It was in the 80s sometime as well, and I know that's going to be sort of duplicated in June.
Yeah.
Doug Henning was in town. I believe
Yes, he
did a
was. Yeah.
concert. We all went to see him and met him
Yeah.
and his lovely wife afterwards. And there's this beautiful plaque put up on the Royal Bank building in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And it was to commemorate, I forget then, how many years, but this year is 100 years.
100 years. Yeah.
And there's going to be some
The
ceremony.
plaque is going back up. A ceremony is going back up there.
Yes.
And the museum in Transcona has dedicated a corner for a display of old magic stuff, magic memorabilia, IBM stuff.
Oh,
We're setting up a whole thing. Dean Gunnarsson is coming down in the next couple of days and going through. I've collected a whole bunch of stuff from a very personal friend of mine, Ray Starr, that just recently passed away.
yes.
A lot of his stuff's going in there. He's got a lot of old collectible stuff that we're putting in the museum. and a lot of his stuff's going up to Dean Gunnarsson, that has a huge collection of handcuffs. If you've
Very
ever
cool.
seen it, you've got to see it. It's
Absolutely.
fantastic what he's got up there, and a lot of the stuff is going up to Dean's place to be kept.
Very cool. Very cool. So wherever you are in this world watching this, whether you're in Canada or the US or whatever,
Yeah.
try to get down to Winnipeg sometime. If
Yeah.
you can't make it in June for the 100th anniversary celebrations, then certainly come to see the museum, because I've seen some of Dean's stuff many years ago.
Oh, it's bigger now.
Oh, I would well imagine.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just an exciting part of magical history for people to share.
Yeah.
And as well, I'm saying this, I don't have to edit this out, but I also anchor the It's a World Magic News thing. And we want to get in touch with you.
Okay.
Myself and the editor, the writer, the president of one of our assemblies. And to speak a little bit more, I believe Dean is also going to speak about that 100th anniversary as well for our news as it comes closer to June. Probably not in April, which is coming up, but the June edition. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, definitely. Don't miss that.
Absolutely. And I know there's a convention in Atlanta as well, maybe even next month. I don't remember when
I think he's going to FISM because he wanted to get some stuff right away from me. And he's heading it off and down to FISM and showing some of the stuff and what's going on at the museum and letting everyone know down there also.
So cool. So cool. Thank you for reminding me of that, to perhaps get in touch with Dean as well to talk about the museum, because magic and Winnipeg synonymous.
It's tradition. Yeah.
Absolutely. I want everybody who wants to, and they should, how can they get in touch with you? Let's talk websites, Facebook. Give us the URLs or the addresses, please.
The website is jamesgrant.ca, or my email is magic388@shaw.ca.
Very cool.
Facebook is James Grant Productions.
Easy
breezy.
Very cool.
And there's tons of pictures. There's tons of everything that's going on up here.
It's lots of fun. And I can't thank you enough for taking time today, James, to speak with me on this show. I could think of no other. It was kind of a neat coincidence. Are there coincidences? I don't know. And say hello to your lovely wife and daughter once again.
I will. Yeah. And thanks for letting me come on, and sending that bow saw out to you. Hope you serve it well and have fun with it and cut lots of people in half, because I did on it. And, thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much, James Grant. And I will very shortly actually videotape myself and my wife, me sawing through her. I want to thank again James Grant for joining us this day on Magical People. And I want to thank all of you as well for watching. We'll see you all again really soon.